Today video we're going to talk about it. In general, it's a very good video if you want to learn about how to navigate in subway, SkyTrain, regular train station, maybe a bullet train in the future. I will do a video about that too. In China it will be more relevant. So Bangkok is a very good place to start. First of all, my girlfriend is right now over there, and I'm trying to help her to navigate in the city because we get there by accident, just because our country was blocked by COVID-19. But that's irrelevant for this video. So we will start from the airport link here that you can see. So this is like a very heavy train. It's located on the top of the surface for the most part. Um, However, I want to talk about the main difference. So this one is linked to the Suvarnabhumi airport. It's relevant for most people that doesn't fly inside Asia. For people that flying inside Asia, there is another airport located somewhere here. It's called Don Muang. And this one is more for smaller distance flights that they have. And this one is much more massive. You can see already by the size. So the big difference between this train to other is that the distance is pretty big from one station to another. Look here, the gap is actually huge from this point to this point. So you can understand that this is more massive train, and it's designed to connect into the city area, but to do it like much more faster. The downside of this place, if you're going with luggage, there is no problem here. Technically, the problem is when you trying to get into the station. So if you have heavy luggage, you might find yourself in a problem because you need to carry it, and there is like 40 stairs, and not all the station, um, based on my knowledge and my experience, not all the station have moving stairs. So in many cases you might have like 40 stairs that you need to cross on top, and with heavy backpack or heavy luggage like a suitcase, it will be a problem if you carry, especially if you are a girl. That might be complicated. You can save money on the taxi here, but it's going to be a little bit hard for female. If you're going directly from the airport, it's not an issue, but especially going into the airport, these parts might be a problem a bit. Okay, so once we covered this subject about this kind of train, what it's good for, that would be a good place to start. The price is not so expensive. I don't exactly remember, but I think it can't exceed the 80 baht or 50 baht or whatever, but it can't exceed much more than that. Um, Now here you can see that we have a different logo for that one, and we can have a different logo for that one. So that's like, it will be like a train logo, and this will be M. M stands for the metro, okay? And this one right here, it's standing for the BTS. So that will be like the SkyTrain. And you can already see that the gap between one station to another is much, much shorter. And it's also correlated somehow, or connected somehow if you like, from one station to another. So Asok is a very, very busy station. And this is like the Sukhumvit metro station. And if you want to go from this one to this one, the distance should be about 250 meters approximately. So you can switch between one line or between one public transportation to another. However, it's different system as far as I know. So now you can see that the metro usually here in Bangkok, just to give you a brief explanation, this is a new line over here. You can see it better from here. This is like a new line started from here. It wasn't here before on my time, which was around 2017, the last time I've been to Bangkok. And here the blue line is representing the other parts of the metro. When we're talking about the BTS, the shape is a little bit different. So the BTS, it's covering from this part up to here, and also this tail that you see. It's also a part of the BTS. So different system that you can use. Another option to move in Thailand is using taxi. The taxi is fairly cheap, but during the daytime it's less recommended in the center area, which will be this area over here. Time during the sorry many time during the traffic jam hours, it will be a bad idea to use a cab here. Take you a lot of time. They might charge you also for a higher price. Now, in this area, because they know that there is a lot of tourists, they will charge you like 100 baht, 100 baht, or even more, 150 baht. They will come with the price. And I always recommend you to use the meter no matter what. In this area, they can reject you. I don't want to use the meter. And in this case, it will be a problem. Now, if you're for short time, it's not a problem. But if you're staying for a longer time, or just if you don't like the fairness of the idea. I just for me it's a problem of fairness because I'm donating money a lot, so I'm not a stingy guy, but I just don't like the unfairness of the idea. So the Thai will pay one price, and you will find it in many occasions in Thailand. If you go to a hairdresser, you're a foreigner, you will pay more. If you're a local, you will pay much less. Okay. Now let's talk briefly about this area. I think that there is a palace somewhere around here. The guard palace, the grand palace, the big palace is over here. But technically, what you do know that this area is fairly cheap many times. The Kawasan Street is located somewhere here, and it's not so far from the main center. Here is like the most important places. Here is what everything is happening in Thailand is around this area, especially what relate to shopping. And we will talk about different area later. But what I want to indicate here, from this part to that part, if you want to go to this part, you don't have transportation in this area, as you can see. It's always better idea to take a taxi, from my opinion, because air pollution is pretty big, and using a tuk-tuk is very dandy tool. So you will feel the road. It's very noisy, and for a long distance like this one, it's not very convinced to use the tuk-tuk. Tuk-tuk is good for one point to a short point here, from this point to a short point here. It's not nice to use tuk-tuk for a very large distance. Okay. Now the tuk-tuk price is fairly high. It's about 100 baht for foreigners, and 80 in some cases, but it won't change much. So taxi, it's more ventilated. You got air conditioner, depend on the rain season or the hot season. But for me, it's always good option. And you can use the tuk-tuk for a short distance. That will be a much better idea. Now, after we cover that, let's talk about, because we are already here in Bangkok, that will be like the second part of the tutorial. You understand about the different options that you can use and in which way you can use them and why. Okay, so we pretty much covered that area. Now let's talk about area where you should go, where you should buy, and what you should buy, and what place is good for what. Okay, so Tsatsutak market, I will start with this one, and usually people will start with the MBK, but I will start with the Tsatsutak market right over here. So this link is connected also to the Dom Muang airport. It's not should be very far from here. Let's go out. Yeah, the Dom Muang airport is over here. This one, like I say, it's good for flights that in short distance, like you can say Macau, Manila, those area things in the region of Asia. Now, Tsatsutak market is it's huge market. Have a lot of second hand here, and it's have a much cheaper goods. Very good if you want to buy souvenirs, things of this nature, fruits, and also, and that will be very hard to say no to. There is a lot of illegal dog from very fine race that usually in your country can cost thousands of euro or thousands of dollar if you are from the state, and you can get them for a very cheap price. So you can see one of those cages with the amazing puppies. Very hard not to buy one, but if you're living in Thailand, it's very easy. They have more stuff like fine goods, original art, and also a lot of fake stuff as well, but for the cheapest price at the region. Now this is where the Thai people go to buy to. You won't see as much as tourists. And the equal for that, for the tourist spot, will be around this area, and soon I will explain to you why. Okay. So the equivalent for the Tsatsutak market will be here at the MBK, which is a little bit more complex because MBK have much more options for fake electronics or electronics in general. So in MBK you can find a lot of those stuff. It's huge. It's 6-floor complex. It's pretty old nowadays. It should be old. Like I think it's over 20 years old. And this facility, you can buy the fake stuff in the first floor. If you want to buy fake stuff for a better price, you should go for the 6th floor or the 5th floor. because they have like a much less volume. Now it's very known in Asia that they have like a food court. This food court is one of the worst in Asia. I really hate it. That's personal taste, but I just don't like it. And as someone that lived in Thailand for a couple of years, I can tell you, it's you get sick of this area after a while. It just you won't go there as much as a tourist. But as a tourist spot, of course, yeah, it's a very good option, and you can find some original stuff too. But mainly it will be overpriced fake stuff. Now, Siam station is very, very popular. Here you can find what they call this mall called Siam Paragon. Everything here is real, everything here is original, and they have like different floors with even car exhibition. It's one of the fanciest, not the biggest, but one of the fanciest mall in Asia. Also, there is a restaurant here named Nara, which you should check. Here, I think that this branch doesn't have the best design, and I don't know about the price. Maybe it's like a little bit overpriced, but this chain of restaurant is one of the best in Asia, and I highly recommend you to try the one in M. Tier, which is somewhere around here at those BTS area. It's a little bit more far distance. But Nara, if you are in Siam Paragon, Nara it should be a nice place to go to. So Siam Paragon is one of the most important malls. This is like a must to go to place in Thailand. That's what would be like my number one pick. It's expensive, it's luxurious, but if you are coming for a short time for Bangkok, that's a place you must visit. The other option you got here, and this one have a very fine food court. It's Siam Center. This place is more connected to regional brands in Thailand. It's less fancy than the one next to it, Siam Paragon. And this area here is more interesting. It's Siam Square. Here you can find about this area, Soy 7, I think. You can find some nice coffee shop, less expensive than the malls, and better value to money, and more authentic food, more like local food, but still looking kind of nice, very well ventilated and such. You got next here the Central World. It's another mall. It's older than Siam Paragon, and it's less fancy, but you can still find H&M, Zara, all those brands. I think Zara. I don't remember to see Zara here. Zara, they got one here. Maybe they have one here too. Could be. H&M for sure. I remember they have. But this one is a little bit. It's not so old, but it's a little bit older. Here, original stuff only. You won't find fake stuff. Partonam, it's much more interesting part. So here, in this around this area, which is relevant if you're doing business, you can buy Thai goods, wholesale price, some small manufacturer, or wholesale as well. But here, Platinum Mall is much more interesting for Asians. So you can find Korean-like brands and a lot of Thai original cheap brands, I must say, that you can buy. So beach clothes for women, you can find. There is one shop here, is amazing, on the fourth floor. The complex is a little bit complicated. There is like divided to two parts, and there is also one floor for male. Now the cool things about this mall is that they can tell you something like, if let's say you want to buy one shirt, so they will give you like almost a wholesale price, or 30 to 40% discount for if you're buying like three pieces. It's different. Okay, it's just different. Now let's move next to other places here that interesting. So Nana Station right over here. This is the area where you want to go if you need to buy something that's related to how do you call it? I forgot the name. Like over the counter medication drugstore. Okay. Now I highly recommend you to check for one of those stores here, or this one in this area. They have one that's selling everything, but for even a little bit cheaper. So if you go to a drugstore that's located right next to the BTS, the price will be slightly more expensive. If you move a little bit to this area, you can find it for 30, 40, 50% cheaper, for my opinion, at least for my bargain skill. So that's something you should consider too. Now, Sukhumvit Soy 11 is the address for the Levels Club. I'm not too sure where it is. It should be like somewhere around this area, I guess, around here.
הנה מה שמצאתי באינטרנט.
Sorry for the Siri. So you can find it. Sukhumvit is about this area, and the Soy 11, it should be somewhere here, if I'm not wrong. We can just type it in, you know what, and let's see what it's bring us, even though I can't see the search bar here. But yeah, I will look for it maybe later. Or I need to merge the video, but I should expand panel. Okay, maybe we can find it here. So let's put Sukhumvit. Wheat 11 soy. So it's let's put levels club. Let's see if it's still open. Yeah, so I can't see level, but I can see sugar club. Let's see if the level still exists. Wow, and that's here. That's actually near Nana actually. So Sukhumvit soy 11. The sugar club, it's let's see if the level is still exists. What they have here. I don't know. Maybe they shut the levels down in the past 4 years, which is set for me. But Sugar Club, it should be very near to the levels, which I think the levels should be here, or maybe here. Yeah, maybe here. Yeah. So levels is a very good club. I hope it still exists. This one is more. You see, the rating is not so good. Here it's going. Here you're going when the party is over, like between 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. When the party is over and you still want to party, so you go to the sugar. That's what it used to be anyway. Another club that is nice will be Kodeta, and they change it to C'est La Vie, and maybe by this time they could change it to another place, but the place doesn't change. So this is like Surasak, and Surasak station right over here in this building, on the 434 or 32. You can find the C'est La Vie club. It won't be Kodeta for sure. It could be C'est La Vie or other. I used to date my ex over here in this club. And so we cover pharmacies and drugstore, things of this nature, and we cover the markets. We cover. Okay, so I can give another compliment here for a cheap street food. It should be about this area, but don't go till here to eat cheap food, because you can find it technically any place. And most of what is great about Thailand is that most of the restaurants are very balanced in terms of delivering good quality food. Now, the last part is irrelevant for you. It is relevant for my girlfriend, and I want to show her how to navigate in her area. So if you want to stay to this far, you can. The video is pretty much ended, but for my girlfriend, I want to use this video to explain to her a few stuff about her location. Bedroom 101. Yeah, that's the one. Okay, baby. So, sweetie, this is your location here in red, and it's a little bit distance from the city, and I done it for purpose. I want to keep you isolated because I'm a very jealous guy, and you know why. So you can. It's a very nice place, and you can see it's 4.1. It's a 3-star hotel. It's nothing fancy, and it's fairly cheap because of the pandemic. There is no tourists, so it's a very good option for economy hotel as well. Now, we're going to take this place for a month or so it's long-term rental. Now, what you should do if you want to go just to travel around this area, the best thing to do, and it's also a part of the adventure, sorry, is that you will take the cab from here to Rachada Pisek. It's where I used to live, by the way, with my ex. But never mind, Rachada Pisek. It's a train station, and from here you can move all the way down to Surasak. So you go all the way down to Surasak. Here you switch to this area, and you go to Siam Paragon that you need to see. MBK, I don't like this place. Or here for a pharmacy if you need to. And this is a place you must go and visit. And you can go also to the Central World. It's great two places. And the other day, if you want, you can use the same methods, and you can drop from Rachada Pisek. You can drop, and you can go to Tatutak Market at the weekend only. It's open only at the weekend. Now, the good thing here is that there is almost no public transportation like cab or something like that. It's very hard to find one here For me, it was hard anyway. So you can always use the BTS or in your case, the metro. Drop you from here to here. The station is Ratchadapisek, let's say. And from here, you can take a cab back to the hotel. Hope you are fine and hope that you are understanding the way things work here in Thailand. So I wish you luck and God bless you all, guys.